Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Is that good? Welcome back to the show. So listen up, we back in the game. Sweet the lead, we got the flame. Wanna get it to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get it in every way. Rockin' it two in the global inspiration. Talk this world to top news, no hesitation. Sweet the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that STL Music, mama, we did it, where we at? Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Every rocks, that's we unite. Yeah, the best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the lead. Sweep the lead, sweep the lead, sweep the lead, sweep the lead. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the lead. Sweep the lead. Sweep the lead. San Antonio, let's go.
Hey, it's Rain Fernandez, and you're watching Sweep the League. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook at Rain Fernandez, Rayne Fernandez.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Legends collide. If the Cowboys fall short, we'll still ride the tide. Like Jordan in the clutch or Brady's last play, we bring the fire, keeping fans in the fray. Coach Gio and Rudy calling the shots, with Derek Coventry, Hall of Fame thoughts. So hit that subscribe, don't sit on the bench. Get in the game, every highlight's intense. The live stream's on till your friends don't delay. Like Kobe in the fourth, we're here to play. Sweep the League TV, where greatness resides. From the bars at the drives till the horns on the rise. We're all in on sports, NBA, CFB, and more for fans. By fans, it's the show you'll adore.
The fourth pick in the NBA draft goes to the Charlotte Hornets. Picking third will be the Philadelphia 76ers. The second pick will be made by the San Antonio Spurs, and that means that the number one pick in the 2025 NBA draft goes to the Dallas Mavericks.
And there you have it. The NBA lottery was last night. Your San Antonio Spurs picking 2 and 14. 2 and 14 for your San Antonio Spurs last night. The Dallas Mavericks get the lottery win. They get the number one pick. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. I know people screaming conspiracy, but I mean, we'll break down the conspiracy. It really wasn't much of a conspiracy. If you could see the writing on the wall, you could tell that it was more than likely going to happen. We'll get into that here. Also, you got 76ers jumping to number 3 and the Charlotte Hornets at 4. The Utah Jazz ending at 5. I believe the Wizards are at 6. The NBA lottery has been determined. Spurs fans galore are, again, at civil war with each other. You draft Dylan Harper at 2 because he's Ron Harper's son. That doesn't fly. We'll get into that in a little bit. You draft Ace Bailey because you don't want to have a plethora. Shout out to Three Amigos. You don't want to have a plethora of guards. So you draft Ace Bailey. 6'10" in college, 6'7" NBA measurements. Got to get a different measuring tape in those college boys. But a deadly shooter. You trade the second pick for Giannis Antetokounmpo, the one guy on every Spurs list right now, fans list. Trade the number 2 for Giannis. We'll get into everything like that. You know me, I don't like talking Spurs, Cowboys, everything all day, every day, and every show. It just doesn't make sense to me. but we'll talk about it. JC Special is in here saying, "Yo, what's up, Tim Gonzalez?" And yeah, your Cooper Flag going to be a Maverick unless something crazy happens, which we have seen crazier things. So nonetheless, shout out to MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Lehan the boys will take care of you. They are the number one pick when it comes to construction work, getting the concrete poured. There's no doubt about it. They are the number one pick. They should forever be the number one pick and your number one choice only. That's MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. So we'll get into it here right now. Number one pick for Dallas. Let's get that out of the way first. Everybody was down on Nico Harrison. I totally get you don't trade Luka, face of the franchise, one of the future superstars, probably Hall of Famer, and you traded him away. The reasoning behind it may be because he doesn't play defense, obviously. I mean, we all know that. We know he doesn't play. We knew he didn't play defense. He's not a defender. So the trade makes a little sense, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it's kind of weird if you think about it. You didn't want to pay Luka all that money on the max deal. Okay, fine. You get what you can for him. But then again, you're trading away an MVP caliber player, a face of the franchise, future Hall of Famer, pissed off all Mavericks fans. Well, last night, redemption in Dallas as they won the NBA lottery. Guys and girls, the writing was on the wall. Let's go back to the Luka deal. We didn't get the Shams report. We didn't get the actual final deal until in the wee hours of the morning. Overnight, we were getting up saying, what the hell? Luka Doncic traded to the Lakers. Surprised everybody. But for all the conspiracy theorists out there, LeBron's on his way out. You hear that? LA needs to be a hot market. You get one of the hottest players in the league, which is Luka, obviously. Hey, Dallas, you send him to LA. Wink, wink. We'll give you that number one pick. We'll compensate you. The writing was on the wall, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe in a lot of that stuff. I mean, I think some stuff is covered up. I think the lottery itself needs to be televised. I mean, there's no reason why it shouldn't be. If you can watch the lottery, for the $150-300 million jackpots they have, I mean, you should be able to watch live an actual lottery for an NBA league. I mean, that I totally agree with. It takes all the, the speculation. It takes all the conspiracy stuff out of the ballpark. It knocks out of the ballpark. So I do think it should be live. But writing was on the wall, man. First off, they traded Luka to the Lakers. No other team had an opportunity to make a deal, put a package together. There were so many teams that could put a package together that would have made the Lakers package look like chump change. Picks, a couple of all-stars maybe, an all-star and a rising superstar star with a lot of picks for Luka Doncic. This was planned, in my opinion, from day one. Get a star to LA. And it may not have been just Luka. It could have been Giannis. Could have been somebody. Just so happened that Luka was the guy. Lottery comes up. I recorded a show with Jeff Garcia, Locked On Spurs. I recorded it on Sunday with him. Right when we were done recording, I told him, watch, Dallas is going to win the lottery. And Jeff is my witness. I mean, he'll report that. I told him Dallas will win the lottery. Just watch. I have a good feeling, but not necessarily a feeling. I have a good reason to believe that Dallas was going to win the lottery. I told him flat out. We can't put it on air, obviously. I mean, out of respect, we didn't want to put it on Locked On. But yeah, I knew they were going to win. It was on the wall. Now, the Spurs getting the second pick, I didn't have that in my cards. I figured they would be 8, 14, but knowing that Dallas was going to move up, that would have put them at 9. So when 9 came out, or 10, or whichever it was that they had fell to, and they weren't there, man, things got a little spicy. Things got a lot spicier. Pledge is in here. The eye emoji, yeah. Definitely want to talk to Jeff Garcia on that pledge. He'll admit it to you. Called it on Sunday, told him, about it Sunday. Jeff's my witness. I don't speak bullshit on the podcast. So I don't say things just to say things. But going to the Spurs, second pick. That is probably, man, to me, that is the best scenario outside of the number 1 pick, but also a headache of a scenario at number 2. You're drafting 3, more than likely you've got, you're drafting 3, you're going to take Ace Bailey, more than likely. So it's kind of an easy thing. You can still try to trade for Giannis using that 3rd pick. Yada, yada. But you have my number 1 prospect. Now, I did post it on X or Twitter earlier. I reposted it back from October 18th of 2024. My top 3 were Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, Cooper Flagg. Those are my top 3 prospects in that order as of today, as of this show right now, has not changed. My top 3 prospects in the draft, not meaning they're going to be drafted that way, or I feel they're going to get drafted that way. My top 3 prospects are Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, Cooper Flagg. Hasn't changed. The play you saw by Cooper Flagg at Duke, phenomenal play. But again, I've always said with Cooper Flagg, he's not, and again, I said it back in October, I'll say it again now. He's not a number 1 option. I see TikTok everywhere else. Generational. He's not generational. Stop. He's not generational. He's not enough. If he can't be, and there's a lot of scouts out there and a lot of players that will say pretty close to the same thing. He fits better on a team that already has a number 1 option. I'm not saying he's Robin to Batman, but he is like Nightwing to Batman. He can hold his own. He can be a main character. He can get it done. But if you were putting him on a team like Washington, where they're just getting started, he would have struggles at Washington. He'd have struggles probably in Charlotte. So where you go is the key. And I think Cooper was as great of a basketball player as he's going to be. He's not a number 1 guy. He never has been. He can't, high school's different. AAU's different. But at the college level, you saw he wasn't a true number 1 option. In the pros, he can't be that number 1 option. Prove me wrong. Shoot. Cooper can prove me wrong, and I will gladly say, hey, you proved me wrong 100%. The Bulls beat the Wizards in a coin flip. True, Flagg wanted to play for the Spurs. Is it because Cooper lacks melanin? Could be. This draft in 2025, it screams star talent. It screams superstar talent. It screams all-star talent. This is a draft where you see guys, like I said on Locked On, this is a draft where the old guys, not the Giannis, the Stephs, the Anthony Davises, the LeBrons, these guys, the much sooner retired Melo. These guys start to go off into the retirement sunset. And this is the draft where you start to see a lot of younger guys come up. Right off the bat, Harper, Bailey, Flag. If VJ Edgecombe goes to the right team, which could be Charlotte, I mean, he can put up some big numbers for them. He's got all-star potential. We're talking a ton of guys that have star potential. No, not superstar, star potential. Pledge is in here. Is it because he's a coach's kid, first and frat out of a guy out kind of guy, sneaky athletic instead of a regular athletic? So with Cooper Flag, what I really like about him is you kind of put it in a good point right there. He's crafty. He's a crafty athletic player, sneaky athletic, like you said. Can jump, can shoot, can do everything. Derek and I talked, it was about 2 weeks ago when we talked a lot about Cooper Flag. Cooper basically said that Derek said that Cooper reminds him a lot of Matt Harpering. Guy doesn't scream a whole lot to you people up there, but his game fits very similar to Matt Harpering, guys out of Georgia Tech. I know a lot of you kids don't know Matt Harpering. For me, I've got Cooper Flag at, again, the ceiling, the sky's the limit for him. But for me, I look at Cooper Flag as the Andrei Karolinko of this generation, the AK-47, a Dat left shrimp type of player, Tom Chambers type of player. If we're going really old school, that is my comparison for him right now. He's gonna play defense. He's gonna make it tough for guys on the offensive side of the ball. He can score the ball. I love the craftiness of Cooper Flag's game. 100%. I have him at that AK-47, the Andrei Karolinko type of player. Derek has him compared to Matt Harpering out of Georgia Tech again. You look at guys like Tom Chambers. I mean, he can score. But I can't ever see him being that number one option, the number one guy. Comparisons of Larry Bird and all of that. I mean, it's there. I think the style of play is there, but it's never going to be at Bird level. It's never going to be at Kevin Durant level. It's never going to be at that level right there. Flag gets his teammates involved first, Rudy, which, I mean, to be honest, cool. But in the NBA, if you're going to be the number one guy on a team, you're going to have to take control of that team. And that's, to me, that doesn't scream anything if he's involving his teammates first. Translation, everything I said is because he's white. No, I don't want to throw that out there. Hey, man, I mean, I'm comparing him to Detlef and Karolinko and Tom Chambers, Matt Harpering, according to what Derek said. I mean, that speaks a lot of volumes there, Pledge. Want to throw any white comps at him? Maybe Larry Market. Shout out to Pledge, man. Yeah. I think he's better than Marketing. I'll be honest with you. I think he's way better than Marketing. But I mean, he's not. I'll say this. If we're going, other players just off the top of my head. Oh man. Let me ask you this. Is he better than Cade Cunningham? I'll throw that. Cade seems to be like that Swiss Army knife. Is he better than Cade Cunningham? Will he be better than Cade Cunningham? We had Cade Cunningham come out this year and just ball all over the NBA. One of the most improved players in the league. Started busting out of his shell. Is he better than Cade Cunningham, or will he be better than Cade Cunningham? That's the question right there. Sweep the League, Rudy Campos Jr. Be sure to go to our YouTube page, search Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button. So the Spurs also get 14. Well, you know what? Sorry. Go back to 2. We'll go back to 2. What do they do at 2 now? What do they do at 2? And I was waiting for Jeff to come in. So Jeff's here. Lottery's rigged. Mavs had the worst odds to win it all, and they did. Jeff, I'm telling you, Jeff, again, I'm glad you're here. Be sure to let everybody know that I told you Sunday, I had it on good source. I get good knowledge that they were going to win, and sure enough, they did. So, I'll say, is it rigged? I don't know if it's rigged. I mean, rigged is probably the best word to use for it, but I will say that it was bound to happen. It was a wink thing, man. You give up Luka, you're getting all the heat, you're getting all the flack for it. I mean, they're gonna reward him with something. It hasn't happened. Like, it hasn't not happened before. Cleveland getting LeBron, the Knicks getting Patrick Ewing. Hey, and you know what, Spurs fans, you can't bitch and moan because they were not supposed to win the lottery with Tim Duncan. They were not supposed to win the lottery with Wemby. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they weren't even supposed to win the lottery with Robinson. I thought they had the third worst record or second worst record. I don't know. I mean, but we know the Duncan fiasco. They should not have won that. So is it rigged? I don't know. If these teams don't complain, then you know what? Watch anybody complain, man. Everybody's got to get a bone every now and then, man. If Flag was the Spurs, is he had second or third option with honest truth, Rudy? If Cooper Flag is with the San Antonio Spurs, he would probably end up being, my honest opinion, Tim, I'm 100% honest, probably third option with most nights. I would say most nights the third option, which isn't bad, but more like a 2B to a 2A. That's my thing with San Antonio. They're going to run everything through Victor, which it's going to run through De'Aaron Fox. He's going to end up being the facilitator. You're going to give Victor his looks. Steph Castle has proved that he can compete on, at this level. So, honest to God, if he's with the Spurs, he's more like a 2B. Some nights he's going to be the third option. Some nights going to be the third option. But, that fits perfect to his game. Yes, Rudy did tell me days before the lottery that Dallas would win the lottery. There you go. So you can't call me a liar. You can't call me anything like that. I told Jeff days before that it was going to happen on the recording. So there you go. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that. NBA knows how to keep Texans happy. Yeah, they do. Drink more special Leaf. That's the best way to keep them happy. Didn't the Clippers have the best odds to get Robinson? I think it was. Like I said, I don't think David Robinson the Spurs did not have the best odds that year to get David. So technically 3 times the Spurs have beaten the lottery system. Can't complain, San Antonio. Oh, look who's on the Larry to SA train again. Yeah. I mean, is Cooper better than Larry? I think he ends up being a better player than Larry Markkinen. But my biggest question, something that I probably should put on X or Twitter, is Cooper Flag going to be better than Cade Cunningham? To me, similar styles. Cooper's a better shooter. Facilitator goes to Cade. Tall guys. I mean, that I think that's the legit question when it comes to Cooper Flag. Is he going to be better than Cade Cunningham? Let me ask James, Jeff, and Rudy this. If Pop was still coaching his team, would NBA give the Spurs #1 pick this season? I don't think that has anything to do with Pop. Just in my opinion, I don't think it has anything to do with Pop at all. Mark to San Antonio, Markkinen to San Antonio. You're going to ride that train. I know you and I were on that Markkinen train for a while, but I don't know if they're going to trade him anytime soon, man. I really don't think so, to be honest with you. I think he's going to be there for a very long time. I will say this. I'll call it a year in advance. Utah wins the lottery next year. Mark it down right now. 2025, when we're going into May of 2026, the Utah Jazz will get the #1 pick next year. I may not even have a show in the next couple of weeks anymore, but this will still be on YouTube. This will still be recorded. I'll play it for everybody next year when Utah wins and they get AJ DeBianza out of Utah, actually. Rudy, why do you not like putting the generational tag on Flag? He's not generational, man. I mean, you can't. I don't put generational tags on anybody. I have yet to put a generational tag on Victor. I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to be a generational talent. Nobody knew Jordan was a generational talent for a couple of years. And I know it takes a little bit of time. But when it's generational, man, what are the requirements for generational? I mean, do you have to come in and take your team to the playoffs right away? Because if that's the case, well, he's not generational. I mean, generational is stuff that you have not seen. Nikola Jokic is generational. He didn't start off generational, but now you can say he's a generational talent. It's not every day we're seeing, a center average a triple-double. He's putting up all those stories that we've heard about Wilt Chamberlain. We're seeing it now. We're seeing it with Jokic, putting up Wilt Chamberlain numbers. Cooper Flag's not generational to me only because I don't feel like he will be the number one option on a team. If you can't be the man on a team, then what makes you generational? We've seen his style of play before. It's what he does that more than that would make him a generational talent. But no, I don't think he's not generational because his style of play just doesn't scream generation. Like, I mean, when David came in, he revolutionized the center position, a quick center, very fast. There's things you've got to come in and do to get you that generational tag. And it's very rare that I use it on anybody. So, yeah, it's hard to call him generational here. Jeff, he doesn't have Flag as the first or second best in the class. How can he be generational to him? Thank you. I don't. I'll reiterate. Harper, Bailey, Flag. That's my top 3 prospects. Was back in October. Still the same today. Those are my top 3 prospects. I haven't changed it, and I won't. James, Rudy, it feels many have cooled on this so-called epic 2025 draft. I don't think everybody's cooled on it. I'm still calling it a pretty damn epic draft. There's a lot of players in this draft. There's a lot of great players in this draft. And I think a lot of teams are going to walk away. So this year in 2025 for the NFL draft, a lot of teams walked away happy. They walked away with phenomenal talent. I think this draft can be the exact same way. You've got guys like Carter Bryant that are all the way from possibly 5 or 6, in the draft right now that could go all the way down to 13, 14. And Carter Bryant out of Arizona is amazing. He's an amazing talent. Asia Nua out of Georgia. Again, a guy that, is going to go right around that maybe 11 down to 16, 17 range. He's going to make a lot of teams happy. You've got the international guys. Hugo Gonzalez. I've been a massive Hugo Gonzalez guy. He's going to make a team very, very happy. Noah Senge out of France. We've talked about him on Locked On. He was one of the guys that I said to watch, that he could possibly be that 14th pick for the Spurs. That is, that's what I'm calling on that, is that you've got a lot of great guys coming into this draft, a lot of guys that can come in and make a difference. All-stars, you're going to have some all-stars. Superstars, you're going to have a couple of superstars. There's no doubt about that. This is a pretty deep draft right here. This is a deep, deep draft here. You're going to get talent all the way down to the end of the first round that can definitely make a huge difference on a squad. So it's pretty epic to me still. What happens if Flag says, I don't want to play for Dallas, says I want to go play for San Antonio, then what happens? Doubt it happens. It's not gonna happen. If it does, great. But he's not pulling Eli Manning. He's not going to call where he wants to go or anything like that. He'll be in Mavericks land. There's no doubt about that. Joe Clone, what's up, y'all? I'm here after watching the Red Sox take a 2-run lead in the 11th, only to get walked off by Javi Baez and the Tigers on a 3-run bomb. I am sorry for that, Joel. Yeah, sorry for that, man. I unfortunately know, what it feels like to have a team lose the very end of a game. Shout out to the Patriots and Falcons in the Super Bowl 23. It kills me, man. It's because he's a Duke hater. I don't like Duke. I do hate Duke. I'm not a Duke fan at all, obviously, but I do keep it real, Tim. I mean, can't call me a hater for keeping it real. How deep is this draft? 8 deep, 5. No, I just said it. It's a you can find starters all the way into God. There's probably legitimately 18 to 19 guys you can probably get as a starter in this draft, depending on where they go. I think about 18 guys that you could find that could be a starter on the right team. That's pretty deep on this draft. Superstars, 5 or 6. 5 or 6 superstar, potential superstars. All-stars, about 6 all-stars. Stars, about 10 or 11. I mean, this draft is crazy good. Crazy good. It's a crazy good draft, man. You're going to find a lot. Rudy G is in here. Dang, bro. So Flag is a borderline all-star at peak. No, he's not a borderline all-star. Again, he's got superstar written all over him. But, as a second option, yeah, he's got superstar, he's got all-star. As a first option, again, I think I'm saying this. He's a superstar in the NBA. So I don't have him at borderline all-star. I have him at superstar potential. But again, my thing with Cooper Flag is he fits better on a team where he's not the first option. If you have to run everything through Cooper Flag, it's not going to work at all. It's not going to work. And that's the problem. He's going to go to Dallas, where you have one of the best point guards in Kyrie Irving. You have a often injured, but when healthy, Anthony Davis there. You've got 2 all-stars, 2 Hall of Famers. I mean, if you think about it, potentially Hall of Famers right there. Both guys are NBA champions. They both know how to win. Plus, he's surrounded by Derek Lively, unless he's traded, PJ Washington, unless he's traded, Gafford, the same thing. Dallas is going to be loaded next year. So he's going to one of the perfect spots. One of the perfect spots. That's what I'm saying. He's going to go to one of the perfect spots, which have been Dallas, San Antonio. I even think Philadelphia would have been great for him. It would have been really, really good for him to go to Philadelphia. Other teams like Dylan Harper, perfect for the Washington Wizards. Absolutely 100% perfect for Washington. That would have catapulted them a lot further than them falling into, I think it was the 6th pick. So Flag's not just an all-star. He's going to be a superstar. But again, it really depends on, it just depends on how Dallas uses him. I mean, rookie season, can we say 17 points a game possibly? Right around, isn't that where Stephon Castle was? Like right around 14, 15, 16? I think in Dallas, he's right around 17, maybe 18 points a game. I think on the high end for Cooper. So, I mean, I think he's got superstar written all over him. Not just all-star. If the Spurs take Harper, what does that mean for Castle, if anything at all? It doesn't mean anything. I mean, if you go with a backcourt of Castle, Harper, De'Aaron Fox, bit undersized, but you can make it work. I mean, De'Aaron Fox can shoot the ball. Dylan Harper can shoot the ball. Both their slashers, but it's pretty much the same player. They're even both left-handed. Stephon Castle. I mean, to me, that backcourt works. That backcourt works if they go that route. And we'll get into the Spurs pick here in just a minute. We'll get into it here in a little bit. Spurs draft Conklin not at 2. I mean, let's be real, man. I know you're a Duke fan, but not at 2. Offer the second and haul to the Bucks for Giannis. That should be the play. That is one of the plays. We're going to get into a lot of these right now here in a little bit here. Is Dallas in position to be a power team now? Flag Dallas. Irving when healthy, lively. I mean, think about it. When they traded for Anthony Davis and they gave Luka away, a healthy Mavericks team was considered one of the top 3 teams in the West. So, I mean, a healthy Mavericks team, sky's the limit on that one. You have to definitely see how that works. Out of your top 3, who has the most upside? Who do you go with at 2? So again, my rankings are Harper, Bailey, Flag out of the top 3. The most upside for me. Oh man. If I'm a GM and I'm taking one of these guys to have the most upside, it's probably going to be Ace Bailey. I really like his game a whole lot. I think Harper, now when I say he's peaked, I don't mean he's peaked like right now. But I think what you see is what you get. And you're going to see him improve a little bit more in the NBA. I think the same thing with Cooper. Cooper, you know, he's already played against NBA talent, obviously, when he practiced with the Olympic team. He had a really good performance there. I think you're going to get, you know, a little bit more from him. But I think if you're talking upside, Ace Bailey, I still don't think he's taken that big leap forward. I think Harper has some steps to go. Cooper has a few steps to go. But I think Bailey can take these gigantic steps forward. So for me, the upside is Ace Bailey. If I'm the Spurs GM, if I'm Brian Wright here, or I'm sitting next to him, he says, what do we do? Personally, I love Dylan Harper, but I'm looking at trade packages first for the number 2. That is my thing. I'm looking at trade packages. Number 1, who wants to have the opportunity to take Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey or whatever? What can I get for 2? And you know what? I'm looking at that until I'm on the clock at the draft. Because packages are going to come in left and right. The same team is going to send probably 6, 7, 8 trade packages within that time frame. So I'm milking that entire clock while doing my due diligence. Now, if the clock's at 10, I got to make a pick. Okay, let's make a pick. For what I feel right now in San Antonio, I lean towards more Ace Bailey. He is 6'7". You have Harrison Barnes, but he's 6'7". He can get to the basket. He can score. He can shoot the ball. He is everything you want to help with Victor, to help with De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle. So if you're a Spurs team looking to take that huge leap forward, you're looking at trade packages. But if you have to draft somebody, I'm definitely looking at Ace Bailey at number 2. That's what I'm looking at. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's probably the unpopular opinion. So everybody wants Dylan Harper. I would not be mad at Dylan Harper at all. I would not be mad at Dylan Harper at all. 100%. This is where the fun part starts. Jacob Eric, shout out to him. Grading the Market is in here. Yeah, fun part starts now, man. Boy, to be that Tim Harper. Harper would be great in Dallas. They need a guard right away with Kyrie recovering from injury. They're not going to pass up on Flag. As much as, you know, I keep saying it, they're not going to pass up on Flag. There's no way. With Tatum's injury, what does Boston do now? That's another thing to consider. Now I would be more with you, Rudy, about them trading Jaylen Brown. See, I knew I would start to get a little bit of traction with you people out here when I said, don't look at Giannis, don't look at KD, don't look at these other guys. The article came out. Boston ownership wants to break up this core. They don't want to pay a whole lot of money. You go after Jaylen Brown. Why? You're not going to have to give up Stephon Castle. You're not going to give up Fox. You're not going to give up any key pieces. Boston wants to get cheaper. They want to get, less on the payroll. So take advantage of it. Go after a Jaylen Brown. A backcourt of Brown, Castle, and Fox. Holy shit. I mean, people think, well, maybe Jaylen Brown, he's a all-star, he's going to be winning the ball. He's going to, not necessarily. Put Tatum and Brown. I love Jason Tatum. I think he's one of the most underappreciated superstars in this game today. I've said that a few times. He's very underappreciated. But to me, Jaylen Brown has the better future, and at most of the time is the better player. And Finals MVP. And the only title that him and Tatum won, he's the Finals MVP. I think Jaylen Brown fits with San Antonio like a glove. He doesn't have to be the number one option, but he can be if need be. Life around Wemby with Fox would be so much better for Jaylen Brown. That's why for my big board going into the offseason, it's not Giannis. It was Giannis for a long time until Boston came out with those comments about ownership wanting to break up the core because they want to save costs. They want to cut costs. Once that came out, Giannis went to number 2. Jaylen Brown went to number 1 on my big board list for offseason moves. It's got to happen. It's got to happen, man. JC says, locked in. Thank you. Appreciate you, JC. Rudy, why would Dallas even think about trading the number 1 pick to San Antonio, trading it to a divisional rival? No way they do it. No, they're not going to trade it to the Spurs. That would be as stupid of a move as them trading for Luka, even though they knew they were going to get something back in return for Luka. I mean, that's what I'm saying, is that they're not going to trade the number 1 pick to San Antonio. There's no way they trade the number 1 pick to San Antonio. If they do, holy hell, that would be crazy. And you know what? You probably have to give up a pretty decent amount for that number 1 pick. I think Dallas is set on drafting Cooper Flagg. I think it makes a whole lot of sense for them drafting Cooper Flagg. It makes their team, better when healthy. It makes their team very, very good. But I mean, you've got to be content with, the Spurs at 2. Spurs are ecstatic at 2. Like I said, it's a great position to be in, but it's also a headache of a position to be in. You probably won't draft. You probably should draft Dylan Harper at 2, but you're going to have a whole lot of people in your ear saying no, 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 no. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. They're not going to trade it. We'll put it that way. They're not going to trade it. Reach Boston as a friendly and trade relations too. Yep, exactly. Celtics are going to suck next year. Tatum will be out till this time next year. Horford probably retires now. It's going to be interesting. So that's the thing with Boston. I mean, Tatum's going to be out, obviously, with the torn ACL, the Achilles. So he's going to be out, again, I would think, until playoff time. So he's going to be out all next year. If I'm not mistaken, Porzingis, White, and Horford are free agents, if I'm not mistaken. So they're trying to free up money to sign 2 of 3 of those guys, 2 of the 3. Horford retiring, I can definitely see, unless the Lakers come calling and they can get him on a 1-year deal, to kind of help out there. I can see him playing another year, probably not in Boston. I think Boston's focused on keeping more than likely Derek White and Porzingis if possible. But again, that's where it makes sense for Boston. Brad Stevens and these guys, they've got to start taking calls on Jaylen Brown. Next year's kind of a wash already. It's kind of a wash, so you may as well try to get what you can right now. Load up on some draft picks. They've got some great players, some great young guys there. So they're not going to be as bad as you think. It's still kind of an underwhelming Eastern Conference. So not too bad. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very interesting offseason for Boston as well as next year. We'll see what happens in the offseason. What do you mean, you people? Shout out to Tropic Thunder on that one, man. I know Pledger's coming out with there. Are there riots in Dallas? Are there riots in Dallas if they trade the number 1 pick? I would say so. I don't even think Jerry Jones can F up this pick for Dallas, and that's saying a lot here. So I don't even think he can mess it up. It's going to be Cooper Flag, and that's all I got to say on that. Your take on the Pacers knockout Cavs tonight, Rudy? Pacers are very, very scary. Very scary. More than likely, we're going to see a New York Knicks, Indiana Pacers, Eastern Conference Finals. Take me back to the Spike Lee, Reggie Miller days. This is going to be an awesome series. I really, 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 really am excited for an Eastern Conference Finals. If it ends up being the Knicks and the Pacers, that's going to be a whole lot of fun, man. Can't wait for that there. Nico said he had a 3-year window, so that would mean they move Flag for Giannis to win now. But with Kyrie out till around All-Star break, they'd have to move him as well, or Nico is going to renege. Good point. 3-year window. All right, so I mean, we were going to talk Spurs, but I like this talk here because let me get back to you on this one. We're going to come right back to that comment. Dallas doing something stupid, so you're saying there's a chance. Hey, man, if Jerry's in the building, there's always a chance of something happening. Where do you think Nico will be vindicated eventually? Eventually. I think once the season gets started, they'll see how good a healthy Mavericks team is. Everybody will forget about the whole situation. Swinging around to this. So, is there a trade scenario where I see Dallas moving number 1? There's always a possibility no matter what. Dallas again. AD, Kyrie is out for a while. Obviously, like you said, maybe to around All-Star break. So they do need help there. I do see them moving one of their bigs. There is no doubt about that. One of their bigs will be moved. Either Lively, Gafford, or Washington. One of those guys will be moved. Now, would the Bucks trade Giannis for Flag? The possibility's there. There are 4 teams, Dallas being one, that I feel Giannis would go to and have the assets to go. And those teams have the assets to trade for them. Dallas jumped in there only because of the fact that they have some bigs. And if I'm not mistaken, Gafford wants like starting center money. Well, remember, the Bucks don't have a center technically right now. If I'm not mistaken, Brook Lopez is a free agent. I think Bobby Portis is a free agent. So they're going to probably command money elsewhere. Brook Lopez is tied to the Lakers. He's being rumored to the Lakers. I don't know about Bobby Portis yet. So Dallas could essentially trade Gafford, a big that way to kind of clog up the middle. They're number 1. Bring Giannis down to Dallas. Very good possibility. I can see that happening. 3 other teams in the Giannis deal. The Houston Rockets, which not a Houston fan, not a Rocket fan. I respect the NBA. I love talking about the NBA. But Giannis to Houston is the absolute worst move for them, best move for the entire Western Conference. Houston needs shooting. Giannis can't shoot the ball. It doesn't take a mathematician. It doesn't take a brainiac. You do not need a doctrine to figure out trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo makes your team better. Makes you a really good competitive team, but you still have the same problem with Giannis in Houston than you did this year. You can't shoot the damn ball. You need shooters. That's where KD comes in. That's where other guys come in for Houston. So they have the assets to trade for him. Doesn't make sense for them to do that. San Antonio Spurs, they have the assets. They've got the players to send back in return for Giannis. They have the draft picks, 2 and 14 this year. They've got multiple first rounds for the next couple of years. They've got the assets for that. The other team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Sam Presti has done a magnificent job. He's got all the assets, all the draft picks in the world, all the youth in the world to trade for a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Maybe a Hardenstein. The other Jalen Williams. I mean, you could send a good amount of players and draft picks Milwaukee's way to keep Milwaukee above water, maybe play in bound still. But the draft picks are huge. They can get a bunch of draft picks in return. So Dallas, on the other hand, they've got an opportunity. I don't think they move on from number one, but we've seen crazier things happen, man. So good point there. Love the comment. Would you have a better first year, Page or Cooper? Page. And not because I'm a hater. Page is going to really be a focal point with the Dallas Wings. Again, Cooper still has AD next to him. He's got some other players. I think he's going to take a little bit of time to get going. But he's going to have a phenomenal year, man. He's going to have a good rookie season. Question is, who's going to be rookie of the year? That's a good question. Good topic to talk about. Is there a Texas two-step? Very well could be with a Boston kicker. Might be. Yes, Bobby's a free agent. Yeah, Bobby Port's free agent. So, nonetheless, let me get into some Spurs talk. We got to go in a little bit. Time flies when you're having fun. Spurs talk, 2-14. 14, I think, again, my favorite under-the-radar prospect at 14, Noah Asenge out of France. I really love this kid. He's got nothing but just up arrows on everything that he does. It's going to take him a little while to develop. I really like him to get drafted. And again, this could be, instead of a draft and stash like they used to do back in the day in the NBA when you draft the international guys, bring him to Austin, let him develop. I love Noah Asenge. I think you can actually get him later in the draft, so maybe trade down a little bit, get him somewhere in the middle of the first round to late first round. If they are picking at 14, I have heard Con Kneppel, because of his injury, sprained his ankle, I think 3 weeks ago. So he's not able to participate in a lot of the combine today. I think, does that affect him? It may affect him a little bit. I don't think he drops past 11. I don't see him getting down to 14. But then again, we said the same thing about Dalton Knecht a few years back. And, Dalton Knecht, last year? Knecht ended up going late to the Lakers. So it's kind of crazy on how people, assume players can't drop and they end up dropping in the draft. But at number 2, the positive thing is this. You have a bunch of Spurs fans say Dylan Harper. And I'm going to say this. Look, I saw it on X, and it's crazy. When you talk about Dylan Harper, it's crazy. Now, I get it. And I'm going to say this 100% of the time. Every time I say this, just take it for what it's worth. To be honest, just take it for what it's worth. Because if you guys saw the DMs I get, if you guys see the text messages I used to get from back in the day, you'd understand why I don't talk about what happens on other shows except this one, because I don't like to deal with the bullshit on anything else. I can care less what anybody else does on another show. I can care less what anybody else does about anything. But I tend to still get mentioned on I'm still on a lot of people's minds and everything, so I still get shit on and stuff like that. But I will say this. Did see earlier that another local guy said that, Dylan Harper is Ron Harper's son, and it makes a whole lot of sense. He's a champion. That doesn't play any fact doesn't play anything other than the fact that he's his son. Same genes, obviously a hell of a basketball player. Dylan Harper could be way better than Ron Harper, or he could be Marcus Jordan. He could be, Scottie Pippen Jr. I mean, he could be Bronny James. I mean, what your family has done in the past isn't going to make you do what you're going to do. It's not going to, I'm trying to put it in the correct way here. What your family's done in the past doesn't mean that's what you're going to do in the present. Don't buy the Ron Harper. Ron Harper, one of the best two-way players, especially in his younger years. Ron Harper sacrificed when he went to Chicago. You were talking about the best one of the best two-way players in the league when he was with Cleveland. I mean, phenomenal, great athlete on both ends of the court. He sacrificed when he went to Chicago. I think he was averaging 19, 20, 21 points in Cleveland, down to like 7 or 8 in Chicago. Not because he couldn't score. He didn't have to. He bought into the system. He played his role. Dylan Harper's not Ron Harper. Dylan did not win those titles. Ron Harper won those titles. Dylan is going to create his own path. Is he going to be just as good as his dad? Maybe better. Maybe better. And that'll put a huge smile on Ron Harper's face. But Dylan Harper is going to create his own path. We cannot judge what his dad did on what he can do right now for any team. You can't, well, Dylan Harper's a winner because his dad's a winner. Can't say that. His dad won those titles. You can't put him in the same category. Cannot do that at all. But at number 2, we're going to go with this pick here. You first want to look at trades. Outside of that, it's Ace Bailey for me. It's Dylan Harper after that, if you have to do it. But you've got to look at every trade scenario for that number 2 pick. You would definitely be surprised at the way this Spurs team could be built damn near overnight by surrendering that number 2 pick. I mean, Giannis, I don't like KD. I don't really want KD in San Antonio. I'll take Devin Booker. That's a shooter and a scorer. That's exactly what you need. I'm taking Jaylen Brown all day, every day. Again, Giannis is up there for me. I've even gone as crazy, and he's not worth a number 2 pick. So don't think I'm saying he's worth a number 2. But I mean, maybe you could swindle a number 14 for him and some players. But I mean, a Domantas Sabonis. I've been high on him. Why not go after Domantas Sabonis? You have to see who is out there. You really have to see who's out there. So at number 2, again, 14, I think they go. I like Noah Asenge. 2, I'm looking to trade, but I'm also looking at the fact of if I have to draft, I'm going with Ace Bailey. 6'7.5" guy, can shoot the ball, fits perfect with the Spurs right now. I mean, I could even see a lineup where you're going with Castle, Fox, Barnes, Bailey, and Victor. That's a pretty damn good lineup. You don't have to move anybody, so your bench becomes Devin, Keldon, and Jeremy off the bench. I mean, go get a point guard if you need to with the 14th pick. You may have a good size. Will Riley is there from Illinois that could play the point. Noah Traore from France is another guy that can play the point. Got a lot of good point guards out there still around the 14th pick. That's the way I would go. If I'm drafting at 3 and I have to keep that pick, it's going to be, for me, it's Ace Bailey. There's no doubt about that. It's Ace Bailey. I'm curious. You mentioned OKC. Who would they give up to get Giannis? Not talking about picks, talking about players. Offhand, I'm feeling Hardenstein is one of them. They're probably either looking at Hardenstein. Jalen Williams, I think Jalen Williams, the better of the Jalen Williams, stays. Would it shock me if they moved him? And, you keep SGA, Giannis, and Chet. Wouldn't shock me at all if they did that. Remember, you've got Caruso. You've got Lou Dort. So, I mean, you've got players that would help Milwaukee still stay competitive in a weak Eastern Conference. So, for sure, it'll be centered around Hardenstein. It'll be centered around picks. But I would say right now, Hardenstein, Dort, Caruso, maybe the taller Jalen Williams. I mean, try that. But if not, it would probably have to be J-Dub. the all-star Jalen Williams. More than likely would be the centerpiece around with Hartenstein. That's just my thought on an OKC type of package right there. That's just who I would think. Last comment: Who is this? Who is the primo Sermonic etc. pick, aka Grenade? You see, if any. Oh God, man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. You know what? Let me bring it up here because I've got my notes here, man. Well, I've got my notes here, so give me a second here. Oh God, you guys are asking some awesome stuff here. Let's see. I'll tell you what. I don't have a whole lot of guys that are going to be that primo Simonic pick. Now, if you're talking just for the Spurs, I don't. 2 and 14 is kind of hard to miss right now. I mean, you can go. Liam McNeely is one guy from UConn. I buy the hype. I love Liam McNeely. He's going to be good. Thomas Sorber out of Georgetown is one guy that he's getting the love, but I'm not high on. And I could be one of those guys. Another guy out of Israel, Ben Saraf. A guy that can come in and get buckets for you, man. I love Ben Saraf as well. So, I mean, I'm gonna do an NBA draft show. Obviously, give you guys some input, some prospect news, all that stuff. So don't worry about that, JC. We'll get you whatever Rudy says is going to happen. It's going to happen. Shout out to Leha, man. MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League, man. And he's right. Whatever happens, happens. Apparently so. I told everybody I'm gonna just quit doing Sweep the Leagues. We're gonna just go dark forever. Get rid of all my socials, and I'm just gonna go play the lottery and just be gone for good because apparently everything I say happens. So I'm gonna go make a living somewhere in Vegas or somewhere like that. Rudy, after this lottery, and many thinking it is rigged, do you think the lottery system needs to be retooling? It needs to be live. 100% needs to be live. Should have been live when they first did it back in '85 with the Knicks. It should always be a live lottery. With as many question marks around this lottery as it's had for many years, Jeff, it definitely needs to be live. So hopefully so, man. We've gone way above our time, dude. I appreciate every one of y'all join us here on Sweep the League. Be sure to go to YouTube, hit Sweep the League. Search Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button so you're not left out on anything. We are only going to be on Twitter, I think, until the 29th of May, and then we'll be on Twitter, but we're not going to be able to broadcast on Twitter after that. So the only way you can get us is on YouTube. By going to Sweep the League TV, hitting that subscribe button. News coming out. This is kind of off the subject here, but you might start seeing a lot more of short and pre-recorded Sweep the Leagues. We're going in a brand new direction. Made suggestion of this last week when we talked to you about it with me and Gio. A lot of the guys are actually busy right now working projects and everything. So pretty much even me, I've got stuff that I've got going on. So you're going to see a lot more recorded shows. You're going to see a lot more shorts, maybe even 20, 30-minute shows real quick. More than you're going to get of actual Sweep the League in the evenings now. So guys like Grading the Market, stuff like that, they're still going to go live a lot of times from time to time. So be sure to support those guys as well. But there's going to be a huge, massive change coming up very, very soon here on Sweep the League. So I appreciate everybody that's joined us, all you guys that have followed us for years. We're going, it's been 10 years since we've done Sweep the League. The very first, it was not called Sweep the League. When we first started, it was the Rated R podcast. And it jumped from Rated R podcast, the Rated R Sportscast, and then it evolved into Sweep the League. So for 10 years, we've been going on it, and we've had a lot of fun. It's been tremendous, but we've got new stuff coming out. We've got a new direction that we need to go in, only because it's hard for me to do what I do and continue to work and miss out on family stuff as well by doing this solo. So I'll just give everybody a heads up. You may see less Sweep the League lives in the evening. You might see a few more recorded episodes, and we'll run them live. But you're also going to see a lot more shorts coming out, a lot more prospect stuff. So we're not definitely going away. We're just we're going to having to retool everything here. So again, shout out to everybody, man. Appreciate all you guys that have been a part of this journey for 10 years. I was going to say that, Rudy, live. I appreciate that, man. Shout out to Pledge, man. Thanks for being here. As long as you don't go on TikTok only, because I'm not getting that thing. No, we post videos on TikTok, but we also post them on the YouTube. So YouTube's going to still be there. We're still got YouTube going on. Just be sure you subscribe to that and notify on that. But yeah, that's going to be more the direction we're going at for a lot of you guys out here. So I appreciate everybody here. Jacob Paragas, shout out to you, man. Let's do an unfiltered episode with Sith and I. Secretly, yeah, that's actually going to be happening. And I've talked to a couple of people already, so we may have an after dark episode that's going to be happening from time to time. So Leha, you'll definitely be a part of that. We're working on that as well. I promise you, there's a lot of stuff we worked on, man. We want Rudy. The crowd demands it. I appreciate that, man. Really do appreciate that. I'll be in the band. Yeah, you are in the band already, man. Grading the Market does a really good job here, for sure. And yeah, Leha says, let's go. We're definitely gonna do that. Yeah, you're still gonna get us. We're still doing shows, but it's gonna be more probably recorded, kind of like Locked On Spurs. It's gonna be a lot more recorded. But like I said, a lot of us here have a whole lot going on. That's why you don't see Gio. That's why you don't see Derek a whole lot. They've got tons of stuff going on. Gio's, working a lot. Derek's working with the kids, and he's got a lot of programs that he's working with. So everybody, one time to time, moves on. And then, of course, family stuff for me. I don't mess around with the family stuff. I try to make as much time for the family as possible. So, but in order for us to do that and to make sure that family, happy family all the time, we got to go a different direction, but we'll still provide you as much content as possible when we can. So again, appreciate everybody for joining us here tonight on Sweep the League. Leha's right. Take care of family, brother. Much love, dog. Appreciate everything you do for us here. MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Shout out to everybody out there for joining me tonight. Great show. Hope we'll be back tomorrow with more Sweep the League. But for now, you guys take care. For everybody a part of Sweep the League Network, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. See y'all later, man. See y'all later, knuckleheads. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting. Building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.